The Virginia colony was the first of the original 13 colonies located on the Atlantic coast of North America. The Virginia colony was founded in 1607 by John Smith and other colonists, including John Rolfe, backed by the Virginia Company, at Jamestown on the banks of the James.
I'm not gonna grow food, I'm just gonna search for gold. I'm sure that will end up well.
As noted by this investor/amateur colonist, the main reason for colonization in the New World was because of the promised riches, but no one realized that they needed to survive and sustain the colony first. Famine, disease, and conflict with local Native American tribes in the first 2 years brought Jamestown to the brink of failure before the arrival of a new group of settlers and supplies in 1610. Hunger was a definite problem when the colony started. Everybody was too focused looking for riches until John Smith imposed order and said that whoever didn't work didn't eat. Go.
Now that John Smith is forcing me to grow my own food, I don't have to eat my wife anymore.
Tobacco became Virginia's first profitable export. They established large plantations and, with permission from the Virginia Company of London, sent representatives to a General Assembly in Jamestown. Tobacco, in other words, helped bring self-government to Virginia. The motivation for the settlement of this colony was mainly economic. A stock joint company known as the Virginia Company invested in the exploration of these unknown lands. It wasn't until 1624 that Virginia was made a royal colony.
Now that Virginia has become profitable, I've decided to make it a royal colony.
Do we still get free trade though?
By 1630, Virginia had a total population of 5,000 inhabitants, but by 1776 it had boomed to 550,000 people, one half of those being slaves. Unlike Spaniards in Mexico and Peru, colonists had to acquire slaves through the slave trade.
Hey colonists, what are the chances of finding a woman in colonial Virginia?
In colonial Virginia in 1610, the chances of finding a woman are 1 in 5.
The first settlers in Virginia were part of the Anglican Church of England. Unlike other colonies who were mainly Protestant, some Puritans attempted to reside in Virginia, but little religious tolerance made them migrate to the north. Women in colonial Virginia had little to no rights. They usually weren't involved in lawmaking and were isolated from interaction with other people.
Virginia sucks because it has no religious tolerance for Puritans. As a Puritan, I'm going to go up north and create a colony of all Puritans that has no religious tolerance for Catholics.
The first form of government was known as the House of Burgesses, established in 1619 by the settlers with the purpose of making laws and having order in the colony. After the British saw the colony's potential, they closed the House of Burgesses and imposed their own rule, entering a period where it became a royal colony.
While it lasted, the House of Burgesses was a clear form of self-government, considering that only white adult males could vote and participate.
In the beginning, the Powhatans attempted to absorb the newcomers, but the greed of the colonies quickly brought conflicts. Threats on both sides stirred more problems, but thanks to John Rolfe, a colonist who married Pocahontas, the conflicts came to an end, or at least for a few years. Then, the new leader of the colony, Baron de la Warre, who wanted to impose harsh Irish tactics upon natives to kick them out. Afterwards, in 1676, the first revolt took place in the U.S., Bacon's Rebellion, against Governor William Berkeley, who was blamed for Virginia's economic decline because of a lack of tobacco profits.
The only thing that we want more than no natives in our land is tobacco, and it's unfair that we don't have any.
The biggest slave rebellion that took place in Virginia was the Stono Rebellion in 1739. More than 100 slaves joined in, and they raided towns and killed white settlers. They attempted to get to southern Spanish colonies to try to reach freedom. In the early years of the colony, the economy was based on the profits made from tobacco, dominated by elite farmers who lived in rural plantations. Since it was the main fuel towards the economy, lack of it caused a major crisis. After it became a royal colony, Virginia fell into Britain's system of mercantilism.
Some of the aspects of colonial Virginia are still seen in the state today. For example, Virginia still, to this day, imports lots of tobacco and is one of their greatest staples. Also, Virginia continues to have a large black population. In a census from 2014, 22.3% of Virginians were African American. They also continued to have a large amount of Christians, coming in at a percentage of 76%. However, pure Puritans have disappeared and fragmented into various denominations of Christianity.